Okay, everyone. How about we talk about the part of fortune in your chart? Okay, let's step away from our planetary studies and go into the Babylonian study of the part of fortune, which is based on a mathematical formula between the sun and the moon and the rising sign. It's not a planet. It's not an asteroid. It's a mathematical equation, or I call it a mathematical kind of end result. The part of fortune is named after the goddess of fortune, Pars Fortuna, and the Babylonians felt that it represented where one might have prosperity and abundance. The only way you're going to know is how you feel about your part of fortune is by finding it and knowing where yours lands in your chart. Okay? And so let's get started. Now remember, we're stepping away from planets now in the astrology world. So let's go. If you have the part of fortune, rising sign, or first, well, what? This is with you, on top of you, your personality, how you look, your appearance, your confidence, your athleticism. You know, part of fortune on top of you. It's on yourself at all times. Energy. Do you feel prosperous? Do you feel lucky? I don't know. Only you can answer that question. Okay? Has there been moments of that for you this lifetime? Remember, your chart is with you up until the day you die. And so, you know, if you're not necessarily feeling what your part of fortune is telling you, then that's your answer as to how much relevance you want to give it. Okay? Some people give it a lot of relevance, some don't. Okay, moving to the second house, part of fortune in the second, luck with money times 100, because this is the money house, money and material wealth house, abundance, prosperity, beauty, creativity, artisticness, sensuality, luck with your voice. Part of fortune in the third, luck with being an entertainer, luck with being a communicator, a writer, a teacher, a speaker, someone who can multitask. And of course, Oprah Winfrey has her part of fortune in the third house. I would say it is applicable, right? I mean, look at her. One of the most famous talk show hosts we've ever had, and multi-talented with her communication style. Part of fortune on the IC or fourth house, this is part of fortune in the home, family, nurturing, the water, the food you make, the care and concern you give to your family, past, present, future, husband's family, brothers, sisters, mothers, dad, and so on, where you live, the real estate you own. Okay, let's go to the fifth. Now, to me, this really is deserving of the Hollywood Walk of Fame star, because we are in the Hollywood house, which is the fifth house. This is the Hollywood Spotlight house, the fifth house. And Lucille Ball has her part of fortune here. Perfect for her, right? So if you have the part of fortune in the fifth, are you an actor? Are you an actress? Are you famous? Do you want to be famous? Are you just someone who's very confident and are in the public eye on some level and do well with how people see you? Are you seen glamorous? Are you, is there something about your hair? What is up with you? You with that Hollywood Walk of Fame star there, with that part of fortune in the fifth. Okay, let's move to the sixth. What about this energy is in your health sector, your pets? The laborious intensity you put into your work, the schedules you keep, the cleanliness, the being of service, helping other people house. Do you help other people? Are you giving back to your community? How's your health? These are questions I would ask if I had the part of fortune in the sixth. Part of fortune on the descendant or 7th house. What's up with your relationships? Have you had luck in their relationship sector? Have your partners been wealthy? Have you had luck with the law? Have you had luck with the public? Do you do good with the public? Do you have like this way with the public that just is, something fortunate that you carry? What about the 8th house? Part of fortune in the 8th. This is fortunateness and fortune around power, transformation, intensity, uncovering the mysteries, solving difficult issues, solving difficult puzzles, digging deep, willing to do the tough stuff. 8th house. Therapists. This rules psychotherapy, the 8th house. Not everybody can deep dive into therapy like an 8th house energy. Not everybody is willing to do the work. Well, the 8th house will do the work. Well, then they do the work, they get the rewards usually, right? So if you have the part of fortune here, you got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to be honest with yourself and your persona and all that good stuff. And the 8th house also rules other people's money, lines of credit, taxes, debt, the IRS, and so on. What about the 9th house? This is the international inspirational travel house. This is where you could find you're lucky with the more you learn, the better you feel, the better you present. You get your AA degree, your bachelor's degree, your master's, your PhD. Maybe you're bilingual, Spanish, French, Chinese, English, Japanese, and so on, Farsi, whatever it is. Multiple languages. You've traveled all over the world. You love to travel. You're always able to travel. Maybe in the work you do, you get to do a lot of traveling. Maybe you're an international speaker here. Maybe you're a religious leader here. Maybe you came into and have luck with royalty. The 9th house is the royalty house of kings and queens. And think, kings and queens and lots of abundance and lots of stuff. Horses, doctors, lawyers, educators, all of that falls in the 9th house. Now let's jump over to the 10th house or the midheaven. And Steve, if you're listening, Steve, this is for you because you asked me about the 10th. So the part of fortune in the midheaven or 10th, strong energy, luck and prosperity, abundance. Part of fortune is fortunate for you in your career, in your reputation, in the work that you do, in the overcoming of obstacles, in the overcoming of adversity, in the overcoming of the bullcrap that goes on in the corporate world, okay? Overcoming anything to get to where you want to be. I often refer to the 10th house and the midheaven as this energy where nothing is going to stop you, okay? Determined to succeed house. And the Netflix movie, I think I've mentioned to you guys many times, watch the Dawn Wall if you want to understand the energy of the 10th or the midheaven and what's involved, okay? They scale Yosemite. They sleep on Yosemite, okay? How many of you are willing to do that? Sleeping on the side of Yosemite, okay? Anyway, so moving to the 11th, part of fortune in the 11th, fortunateness around authenticity, being truthful to who you are. Being a scientist, being an engineer, being an astrologer, being an inventor, being someone who changes the way we do things in the world. I often talk about how Apple computer changed the game for the collective. This is the collective house. The innovators and ideas here change the world, make things better in the world, improve humanitarian causes here. This is what goes on in the 11th house. We think outside of the box. We think differently because the same way of doing things will drive anybody insane, right? What's the definition of an insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. No. The 11th house is we step outside into new ideas, new ways of solving problems, new ways of working with the collective to move the collective forward, save time, save money, whatever it is. Okay, now let's go to the 12th house, the secret house. Fortune in the secret. This is the quiet house. Quiet house. The 12th house. The peaceful, tranquil house. This is the house of dance and movement and flow and going into the zone and forgetting about the outside world and unplugging your phone. And nobody gets to reach you now because you're fortunate enough that you get to go into the quiet zone. You could be a healer. You could work in a hospital. You could be a doctor. You could be a psychic. You could be an astrologer. You could be a musician who goes into the music studio for a week and nobody sees you because you're in the zone creating your music. You could be an actor or actress going on a movie set for a year and nobody sees you because you're on the movie set, right? You could be a massage therapist or a Reiki master and work with energy and see clients behind the scenes in a spa setting. This is the healing house. This is the house that needs quiet reflection. Because when there's quiet and peace, you can heal, right? When there's a lot of noise and the public's going on, it's hard to really heal. It's hard to really get in the zone. When you got all these distractions, you got to call this person, and this one texts you, and this one email. No. 12th house, you turn that off. That's where your fortunateness comes in that house. All right? So we're back to the ascendant now. We're back to you because you've been really quiet in the 12th, and now you're coming out. You're coming out of the 12th on that rising sign, and there you are. There you are, brand new. You had all these massages and facials, and you were at the spa in the 12th house, and now you're ready to show the world who you are with the rising sign, with the part of fortune there. Okay, guys, that's the part of fortune based on the sun and the moon and the rising sign mathematical equation. This is not a planet. So proceed very carefully with your understanding and your use of the part of fortune. I am going to end. Have a fortunate day in honor of the part of fortune. Bye.